Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, I have a letter in front of me from the American Forest Resource Council, and I'd ask unanimous consent that letter be entered into the record regarding H.R. 2642, if I may, please.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A question, though, for me centers on H.R. 2546, and I'd like to ask Mr. Ertel, if I may. Mr. Ertel, as County Commissioner of Montezuma County, how big of a deal is it to your county with tourism? How much of your economic driver is accounted for by tourism?
A great deal. I can't give you the exact percentages because we do not incur a sales tax. Montezuma County is one of the few counties in the state of Colorado that does not have any association with sales tax, but I do know that a great deal. We have Mesa Verde National Park. We have the Canyon of the Ancients National Monument. We have Tribal Park, Mountain Ute Tribal Park, that are all somewhat of a destination for tourism and travel, as well as our mountain country for hunting and fishing that Mr. Dombrowski talked about, that are all basically public lands, which are absolutely 73% of our county is public lands. And recreation is a large driver, and we want to see that driver continue as an economic driver in our community. And sometimes through restricting the types of access, mountain biking and certain types of other recreation that we see as a booming, being tied to Moab and Telluride and different areas that are really thriving on mountain biking and that type of outdoor experience. That is a large driver in our county.
It's actually a big part of my follow-up is if this bill passes, then what, in your opinion, again, County Commissioner, your local government, you're closer to it than we are. What happens to that revenue stream? What happens to that impact for your county if this bill passes?
I think it will put restrictions on it. Anytime you start putting a property and land in the most stringent classifications of accessibility and usage of that land, you're going to definitely restrict the types and numbers of people that are going to come to visit you and use your public lands for recreation.
So you're clearly limited. I was going to ask you how much of a percentage of Montezuma County was federally owned, but you already said 73%. It's a big number.
Yeah, and I do believe that includes, we have one reservation, the Mountain Ute Indian Reservation, as well as national parks, and our national parks are expanding. We had a private donor contribute 160 acres of private land to the Yucca House National Monument, and so our monument people of the Canyon of the Ancients have spent about $9 million expanding their national monument. So the private land ownership in Montezuma County keeps shrinking.
So with that, another question on a related note. So of that land in Montezuma County, do you have any problems with wildfires? Has that been something that's been prevalent?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking here the Menifee Mountain WSA 4 years ago burned. It's an absolute moonscape. Now it's a weed-infested moonscape that we are very restricted on what we can do. It's a wilderness study area, mechanized treatment, chemical treatments, different things to go in and try and treat the noxious weed problem that's arisen from the fire that happened there, and it absolutely burned itself right down to the dirt.
So if this goes into wilderness area, is that going to make is that going to improve the circumstances which will limit that wildfire danger more, or what's going to happen with that?
No, because it's going to take a long time for it to grow back, but no, it will remain just that, and the potential to do the same thing again in another 20 or 25 years.
So how long have you been a commissioner, Mr. Ertel?
7.5 years.
Okay, so in your experience, when lands get designated as wilderness, does that have a tendency to imply better management over the course of time for a better and result in a better environment, or not necessarily?
Well, this land and these WSAs have been treated as wilderness areas for 30-some years, and I have seen nothing that is proposed or proven to be beneficial to Montezuma County at all. I've seen it proposed as a detriment in the wildland fire that we experienced in the Menifee. I saw it as a detriment.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Fulcher.